And welcome back to Mindset Monday. I'm Gene Zanetti, your coast-to-coast mindset coach from Z Winning Mindset, the #1 sports-specific, systematic mindset program anywhere in the world. Z Winning Mindset. Great to have you back. We talk about it many times. Everyone says sports are 50 to 90% mental. And then when we ask them, how much time are you training physically versus mentally? They say they're training about 95% physical. So think about that. We're saying sports are about 90% mental, yet we're training 95% physical. It doesn't take a scientist to realize we have a problem there. We have to start training smart. That's what I call the training paradox. And because of that training paradox, we tend to see the same common mindset red flags in all areas of sports. After working with tens and thousands of athletes around the country, all of our mindset coaches, we've over 80 mindset coaches for Z Winning Mindset. We've seen the same common mindset red flags across sports, across sales teams, people trying to lose weight, our academic mindset program, and we give good opponents too much respect. We put good opponents on a pedestal. Being better in practice than a competition, being a slow starter, being a procrastinator, always pushing things off till the end, getting distracted by off-the-field distractions, bad relationships, bad friendships, partying, drinking, substance, all the stuff. Being too friendly on the field. We don't have that killer instinct. We don't have that fire about us when we're out there. Being better in practice than in a competition. These are common, and that's just a few of them. There's a lot that are very specific to individual sports. Like in baseball and golf, we see people getting the yips. We see people have difficulty recovering from mistakes, bouncing back after making an error, after their opponent does something well. In golf, we see a lot of people who are great on the range, but they can't bring it to the tee. Wrestlers, they're practice room wrestlers. They're all-stars in the practice room, but they get into the championship competitions and they buckle. They choke. They come out, their eyes are as wide as saucers. They're like a deer in the headlights. And that's across sports. So, if you want to be the best, you're going to have to start training smart. We train hard. We have to also train smart. So it's a holistic approach. It's mind and it's body. It's not one or the other. You don't have to choose. It's both. You have to work on your mindset and you have to work on your body. So, I want you to look at mindset training as different than therapy, motivational speaking, or sports psychology. This is very different than that. It's strength training for your mind. When you have a personal trainer, if you have goals for your body, you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to get stronger, you're trying to build greater conditioning, overall physical preparedness. You have a personal trainer. You have a strength coach, a sports team. I don't know if there's any professional sports teams that don't have a strength coach. It's the same thing. It should be the same thing with your mind. Why wouldn't it be? If we're saying it's 90% mental, then there should absolutely be a mindset coach for your team, if you're serious anyway. So look at it as strength training for your mind. You can't just think about mindset training. You can't just listen to me. It has to be doing the exercises. You have to do the mindset worksheets, the exercises, and the activities that we give you. That's how you're going to get stronger. Just like with your strength training, you can't think about lifting weights. You have to actually lift the weights. You can't think about going for a run. You have to go for a run. You can't think about doing your skills and drills for your technique in your sport. You have to actually do the skills. You do the drills. You practice the technique. You get repetition. So you need mental reps, just like you have physical reps. Same thing. Next, it's something that you're doing year-round. Mindset training is something you should be doing year-round. Your strength training, you don't just do strength training during the season. That doesn't make any sense. Or you don't just do strength training right at the end, right when you're about to go into the playoffs or the postseason. No. So that's exactly the same thing with your mindset. It's something that should be done year-round. Usually your best strength gains, your best technical gains are made in the off-season. You know, the off-season, as if there is an off-season. But it should be the same way with our mindset. That's when you're going to have your biggest gains in your mindset, because now the emotions are lower. You're not competing every other day. It's not constant stress. You're in the middle of the war zone during the season. Don't get me wrong. We have a lot of great results with teams while we're working with them in the season, while they're in the war zone. But we could do double the damage, maybe triple the damage if we're taking your team in the off season too. The off season, because serious teams and teams that have serious goals, whether it's winning a championship or just building up a culture and creating a new environment out there for your team, they're doing mindset training. they're going to do mindset training. They're going to maximize their potential. So you got to look at this as a year-round program. We break our mindset program down into 2 phases, phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 2 is in the season. We're dealing with performance-specific issues, peak performance, staying in the present moment, relaxing under pressure, confidence. We're giving a hard focus on that. Then once the season ends, we shift to phase 1. And phase 1 is more foundation mindset. We're focusing on goals, action planning, mental toughness, motivation. Okay? So both are important. You need both. And of course there's some overlap in between our different phases, but it's a hard focus on foundation before the season, and then in season it's a hard focus on performance. So it's got to be a year-round approach, just like your strength training is a year-round approach, and you lift a little bit differently based on what time of year it is. Your practices look a little different technically based on what time of year it is. It's the same thing with your mindset. And also, it's like strength training because there's different muscles. Just like there's different muscles for our body, there's different muscles for our mind. Some people have stronger legs and a weaker upper body. Right? Some people have a strong neck, a weaker grip, or vice versa. Right? There's different physical muscles in our body. It's the same thing with our mindset. There's different mental muscles. So you might be very strong in one mental muscle, but you may be very weak in another mental muscle, and that's usually how it works. After working with tens and thousands of athletes across sports, the first exercise we do with an individual is taking them through the mindset checklist. So we take them through all different 8 mental muscles, and we give them these different questions, 3 different questions for each one of the mental muscles, and we could see pretty quickly where are you strong and where are you weak. And you're only as strong as your weakest link. So we have to get better at our weak points. We all have weak points. We all have problems. We all have things that we struggle with. So we got to work on those. But it's not just about improving weaknesses. Think about your body. If you're very strong in certain muscles, if you have really strong legs and you train your legs are going to be super strong. You're going to be a freak, right? That's a big part of mindset training too. It's not just about improving mistakes. That's a big misconception with your mindset. We want to not just fix problems, but we want to find out what is working. Let's figure out what's working with you. Let's figure out what's working with your team, and let's make it freaky. Let's make you unbeatable and unstoppable, because that's really how the best get to the very top. It's true. We're only as strong as our weakest link, so we do need to fix our problems. We do need to improve. But what's going to really take us to the next level is find out where are our talents, where are you mentally strong, and then from there, we can make that awesome. We could turn you into a superhero in those areas. So that's what we want to do. It's not just about fixing problems, but both are important. So look at it as strength training for your mind. So there's 3 different avenues we could go with mindset training. We have an individual program, a team program, and a do-it-yourself program. So our individual program, you sign up for that program, a parent fills out the they sign their kid up for either the weekly program or the twice-a-month program. We send over the parent questionnaire. That's where you tell us a little bit about your kid, what sports they play, what are their interests, how do they do in school, what are some of their goals in sports and school and in life. And then what we do is we look at that questionnaire and we match you up with one of our 80 mindset coaches that best works for your kid. Okay, so we're not just pulling out of the hat. We want to find a mindset coach of ours that's going to match your kid's needs. So a couple examples of that. We've seen parents fill out on the questionnaire that their kid is very interested in going to an Ivy League school. Okay? We try to match them up with an Ivy League coach. Another kid struggled with a serious injury. So what do? We match them up usually with an athlete, with a former athlete, one of our mindset coaches, that's gone through some kind of serious injury in their career. We had another athlete, their goal was to open up a gym later in life. So we matched them up with a mindset coach who also owns a gym himself. So it becomes more like a mentor, more like an older brother or sister that the athlete can look to, not only as a role model, because they're all former athletes, a lot of them at a very, very high level, whether it's high school level or collegiate level or beyond. They've competed at a high level, so they have that instant respect as an athlete, but it's also someone who's similar mentality as them, similar to them personality-wise. We want to match them up with the right personality. We want to know if your kid's more of a talker, if they're more of a listener, if they're more sensitive, if they like more direct feedback. Whatever it is, we can match you up with the mindset coach that's going to fit your kid's needs. Then they would go through our weekly program or our twice a month program. So we have over 70 mindset worksheets on these 8 different mental muscles. And they got to get work on all of those different areas. So they fill out the mindset. So when they start up, they fill out the mindset checklist. We assess where they're strong and where they're weak. Everyone first moves through self-knowledge because you have to start about learning about yourself. You got to learn about yourself first. After they go through self-knowledge, then they go immediately to the mental muscle that they need to work on most. So if they really struggle with relaxing under pressure, they're going to go straight to that. If they really struggle with mental toughness or confidence, that's going to be their first lesson. They're going to go through every single mindset worksheet, every single lesson. It's a year-round program, and we've had some athletes that have been on the program for 4 or 5 years at this point. So they're going to go through all the lessons, but they're going to get what they need first. So it is systematic, but it's also individualized. So you're going to get all of our mindset worksheets, all of our copywritten, patented mindset exercises that we do with the best teams, best individuals all across the country, even internationally. And that'll get you going. Every week or twice a month, you're going to be consistent with your mindset coach over the phone. It's all done over the phone. So we made this as former athletes ourselves. We know what it's like to have a heavy course load for school. We know what it's like to have practice, to have club, to have other activities that you're doing, family obligations, and also trying to have some downtime. We understand what your schedule is like, so we built this program for an athlete. So this was made by athletes, for athletes, so you could get that half-hour call in once a week or every other week. And each kid's different, right? Some kids are more talkers, some kids are more listeners. So the kids that have a greater need to talk and ask questions, I've done mindset workshops that have gone over an hour and a half. And there's some kids that they're 20 minutes, all business, right to the point. They grasp the lesson, and after the 20 minutes, they're good. The key is consistency. So that's our individual program. Then there's our team program. So our team program, we send you over the mindset worksheets, the mindset program based on which program you sign up for. So our main programs are 24 workshops, which is the year-round phase 1 and phase 2, the full program. Within each phase, there's 12 workshops, 8 workshops, or 4 workshops. And of course, we could always meet somewhere in the middle, but those clusters of 4, those groups of 4, that's been shown to have the best results. That's how we could really get ahead. That's how we could really make big changes, by multiple workshops. And our recommendation is you do them every week. So if you sign up at the beginning of the season, if you start the first week of September, let's try to really take the team. Let's get those 12 workshops in 12 weeks in a row. Or if we can't do that, let's try to knock that out in the first 15 weeks or 20 weeks. So this way we're on the ball. It's regular mindset coaching, and that's what you get. So it's all done on Skype. Has great results that way. We have live feedback. You have live feedback with your mindset coach, and you would do the same thing that an individual does. You fill out the coach's questionnaire. We learn about your team, your goals, the demographics, the rough average age of your team, and also some of your coaching philosophies. That's a really exciting thing about the team program. So you as a coach are going to let us know what are some of your big philosophies that you would like us to weave into the mindset lessons. Because here's the idea. You're speaking the same language, we're speaking the same language, and the athletes, we're all communicating a uniform message, right? So you're reinforcing our mindset workshops, our mindset lessons throughout the week. We're reinforcing your coaching philosophies throughout the mindset workshops. Let me give you an example of that. The Olympic Greco-Roman wrestling coach, Matt Lindland, is very big on the kayaking analogy. We're all in the same boat. We're all in this together. If one person doesn't do their job in the kayak, the whole boat flips. So we make sure when we work with the Olympic Greco-Roman wrestling team, we're weaving that into our lessons. So now the kids are hearing it from someone other than their coach. And the coaches are reiterating our mindset lessons to the team throughout their regular workouts. So after we worked with one of the women's Olympic teams, we talked about having a reset button and being able to reset yourself with some kind of short phrase and some kind of physical gesture, which is known as the reset button. You got to be able, that's how you bounce back from adversity. And then the very next workout that I was observing, the coach was yelling to them during the workout, reset button, use your reset button, while they were doing competitive situations. So they're implementing these lessons right away. These lessons that we give you, you could take to your kids right away and use. So that's the team program. And again, the more workshops you do, the greater breadth and depth that we can cover. We could get into things a little bit deeper, and then also we cover more topics, right? Because we have more time. And with each one of the mindset workshops, all done on Skype, all live, you have the same mindset coach, and you'll get a lesson of the day, which is often multiple worksheets that you're doing with the team. So they're putting the pen to paper. They're actually making improvements. They're not just getting lip service, motivational speaking. That's not what this is. It's mindset training. And they're getting an activity of the day, something they're doing where they could either get up out of their seat or think or work with a partner. So it gets them more excited. It gets them more engaged. So it's not just passive sitting back. It has to be active learning. That's the key, active learning. A lot of you coaches as teachers know what I'm talking about. It has to be active. They have to be engaged. Otherwise, it goes in one ear and then right out the other. And the third option is one of our do-it-yourself programs. Those are great too. My recommendation is always getting that mindset coach, because they're there with you. As a team, they could hold your hand throughout the season. If there's any drama among the teammates, athlete-coach drama, whatever it is, there's problems that arise, there's the highs and the lows, the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows of the season. Boom, your mindset coach is right there. As an individual, you have that mindset coach. And think about it, most athletes, you know what it's like having that one-on-one mentor that really cares about you. That's usually when you make the best results. Or as a team, you have that one coach that's always there for you no matter what happens. So if you could do one of those, definitely, that would be by far the best thing you could do. If that's not something you could do, if it's just not something you're capable of doing as a program, then you know what? Our do-it-yourself program is great too. We have bundles of different workshops that you could do. They're pre-recorded. You get the worksheets, and it'd be on confidence or relaxing under pressure. You could get the mental toughness bundle, the bouncing back from injury bundle. It's a good option along with our ebook. We have an ebook, Building the Predator Mindset, How to Succeed in Sports, School, and Life with the Predator Mindset. So those are great options. Like I said, you really just can't beat having a live coach. Right? Think about it. For technique, skills, and drills, you need the live coach. You need that feedback, the back and forth. And the same thing with having the mindset coach being there throughout the season. They're always there. They're always able to help you. So whether it's technique, whether it's strength, you need to have that one-on-one back and forth feedback. All right. So we've taken this to the next level. This whole mindset training, we've taken it to the next level by making it sports specific. Okay, so we work with athletes all around the country of all different sports. So our worksheets, our exercises are especially geared to your sport. So if you are a baseball team, you have baseball-specific mindset worksheets. If you're a basketball team, you have basketball-specific mindset worksheets. Lacrosse, field hockey, wrestling, soccer, tennis, golf, etc., etc., etc. So what we could actually do is we could take 10 different teams in the room at a time. You could bring everyone into either an auditorium or into a cafeteria, classroom, whatever it is, depending on the size of your group, and we could run 5 different teams at once. We could run multiple teams. So the good thing about that is now you're splitting it among the different budgets, right, with those different groups. And when I say, okay, everyone pull out confidence week 3, it's body language for everyone. But that body language is going to look different for a golfer, a wrestler, a baseball player, and a tennis player. And the language that's on each individual's worksheet is specific to their sport. So they're going to really like that. Athletes have given tremendous feedback with that. A lot of times the complaint is when we see performance information or mental skills or sports psychology, it's so general that now we have to do extra work to translate that into our sport. But we did the heavy lifting for you. We made it specific for your sport. We've had college-level athletes who've taken the common situations you're going to be in, the terminology that you use, so you know it's made for you. So if you're a lacrosse player, it's made by lacrosse players for lacrosse players. If you're a tennis player, it's made by tennis players for tennis players. Right through mixed martial arts, wrestling, whatever your sport is, we have it. So we've taken that to the next level with our systematic, sport-specific mindset program. So it's really exciting. So the idea is no matter who you are, no matter what level your team is, everyone needs mindset training, whether we're struggling or whether we want to take our mindset to the next level, right? We're already a high-level team, and we want to build the gap on our opponents. We want to keep our edge, and we want to keep building more and more edges in our competition. We want to make sure that we're staying ahead of everyone else. So the 3 big reasons why people do mindset training are, 1, maybe they're trying to overcome one of those mindset red flags, giving good opponents too much respect, choking, hesitating in competition, being too cautious and tentative, not competing with the killer instinct, not difficulty bouncing back from mistakes or difficulties bouncing back from an injury. Any of those things. So those are common things that people do the mindset program to overcome those mental mistakes. A lot of times, though, it's unrelated. Individuals and teams will do the mindset training just for the life skills, for the mentorship, to have a positive role model, someone other than the coach, someone other than the parent who can talk about living a good, clean life, staying away from drugs, alcohol, substances, getting to bed at a good time, eating healthy, living the lifestyle, using the sport to build virtue. And that's critical. That's what we want to do. We want to give you the mental edge. And the way we do that, we maximize your potential, the student athlete's potential in sports, in school, and in life. So we're constantly looking to, if you're a volleyball player, we want to use volleyball as a metaphor for your whole life. Volleyball has to be a vehicle for you improving as a person. The same thing would be true for golf, or tennis, or softball, or soccer, whatever it is. We want you to use that sport as a vehicle to get you into a good school, set you up for your career, have positive interactions with your friends. And those are all very critical things. Our individual program, what's nice is your kid has a one-on-one opportunity with a mindset coach. A lot of times kids are not talking to people on the phone, and then they get in the business world and it's a culture shock. Everyone texts, everyone pulls out their phone, and we're sending text messages. We're not always going through, our kids are not always going through. We're not ringing the doorbells anymore. Text them, right? I'm here. Or you don't pick up the phone. Hi, Mrs. So-and-so, is my friend here? There's none of that. It's just a text. So the kids are getting weaker with their interactions. So these mindset lessons, a great thing is they're getting that interaction time with an adult, which is going to be great for job interviews and business in the future, and speaking to coaches and getting into higher level degree programs when they have interviews. So there's good life skills, good positive role models, and hearing it from someone other than your coach. I had my first role model, my first mentor. Obviously, I had my parents, my grandparents, and everything. But my first mentor from a sport was when I was 13 years old. I was in 8th grade, and having that mentor really changed things for me. And that's probably a big reason why I started this whole mindset program, because the mentorship really benefited for me. I looked up to the guy, not also because he was a high-level athlete, but he was telling me to live clean, do the right things. So I would look to him instead of my friends. When my friends started getting to that age where now they have a car, they're going out, they're doing things they shouldn't be doing, I was looking to my mentor. I wanted to be like him, not my friends. I had my friends, but I wasn't trying to be like them. I was trying to be like my mentor. So building a culture, you have a young team. We want to set the tone. We want to create a new legacy. We want to change the way our school has been going. We've we live in a very entitled generation right now. Everyone feels like they're entitled to things. Kids are spoiled. Kids are lazy. Kids feel that like they deserve things. We need to build a new culture. That's a huge reason why people do mindset training. Yes, of course, they're going to get better with the sports, but also just changing their whole approach to life, toughening them up a little bit, getting them more mentally tough, believing in themselves, making good leaders and good citizens. And the third big reason why people do mindset training is because they're already at the top. There's some athletes we work with, some UFC fighters, Olympic team, some of our different individual athletes we work with, their parents call up or those coaches call up and they say, we're not struggling in any of those areas. What it is with us is we want to get an edge on our competition. We want to make sure that we stay ahead of everyone. We want to build the gap on us and the second place team, or the second place, the person behind me in my sport. So they're looking to build that edge. They're already at the top. They're not trying to fix a problem. They're trying to take what they're doing well already, and they're trying to make it freaky. They're trying to be superheroes, right? So that's the idea. Yeah, we say it joking around, but it's funny, but it's true. You see